two pictures for you.
Africa?
No, what areas of study? What areas of study? No, it's just an area, not the field. Okay, so forget it. We have here this is cultural anthropology. Culture is a study of ways of life, traditions, custom of different groups of people. Okay, let's move to pictures number 2.
Astrology.
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 It's an area of study, a subject. Biology and two subjects.
Geology.
No. Physics. Physics. The physics biology and the first pictures is about physics. So we have here this is physics and biology. That is story about human origins, genetics, and biological variation. Okay, so move to pictures number 3.
So the third one. What is it?
Archaeology.
Yes, archaeology is a study of humans in the past. And so the last one. The last one?
Linguistics.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I guess this is some kind of a simple language of the ancient time.
Yeah.
As you can probably guess, this area focuses on the language, and of course, the relationship between language and culture.
Okay, so here we have 4 clues in total. And the field we want to talk about today typically divided into 4 different areas of study. That is culture, physics and biology, archaeology, and linguistics. So can you guess what field it is?
Anthropology.
That's why, because you know that, right? So we have here, we'll learn more about the anthropology. So let's begin with an explanation of anthropology, because most of you, I think that most of you don't know exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
So let's begin. In general, anthropology is a study of humans, that is humans now, in the present, or at any time in the past. So really, it's a really broad field. So due to its broad concept, our show today just focuses on what do anthropologists do in today to help you to get an insight into this field. Okay?
So the question is, what exactly do they do? So do you know what kind of job an anthropologist might do?
Study about human.
Their behavior,
Yeah.
anything else?
Maybe digging or observing something in the past.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay, so let me tell you something about that. The word anthropology itself tells us that this is a field that seeks to understand humankind from the beginnings millions of years ago, from here, and to the present day. Anthropologist considers how people's behavior changes over time, and how people seemingly this culture dissimilar, is different or the same. That's why when you think about anthropologists, you probably think of someone who goes off to study a community that is far away or often very remote, or they may travel halfway around the world for their work. Those people in those positions must have strong physical stamina or be accustomed working in the variety of weather conditions or climates. Most anthropologists are employed by governments or universities, where they conduct the majority of their research or teach anthropology to college students. Researchers and professors work indoors year-round. You see, they totally work indoors. But some social scientists, they go to the field to collect data for their research in a given assignment.
So today's anthropologists do not just work in exotic location. They can be found in corporations, all members of governments, education institutions, and non-profit associations. And today, I'm going to talk about what do the anthropologists do in the corporations. While you still may find anthropologists who travel halfway around the world for the work, you may also be surprised to find one working just down the hall in the office. So more and more anthropologists are being hired to work in the corporate world. It started out as an experiment in a few major companies, but now it's become a big trend. Companies use anthropologists to understand the workings of the customer better and to help decide projects that work best for the customers. So how do the anthropologists get this information? With detailed observation, careful interviewing, and clear documentation. In other words, they use the same skill they would use in the remote village in the middle of nowhere. In other words, there are not many limits on career choices for anthropologists. Anthropological study and training provide the knowledge, skills, and tools to work with people, study the past to shape the future.
Okay, but that raises another question though. Working in exotic locations and working in a covered setting, are they very different situations or not?
Of course, there are some differences, but really the way I study people and communities is the same wherever it is. People often don't realize that corporate settings are usually very complex. Really, pretty much like a small community. People often don't realize that corporate settings are usually very complex. And today I will talk about two specific jobs that anthropologists really do in the corporate settings. The first one is working on the projects, like studying how working direct in the factory. For instance, management tried to bring the new program to check quality, but it wasn't working very well. We're not finished with the work yet. But I think that the large part of the problem was that management wasn't paying attention to the dynamics of this work. Some workers were upset because they weren't consulted about the change. And then they influenced the other workers who might have accepted the new program more easily. Management had no idea what was going on. They just knew that the new program wasn't accepted.
Okay, and the second job is observing. For instance, the company looks at how people really use technology. And in this situation, anthropologists would go in and observe them in their homes over the few days to see what they really do with technology. And this is an example of how anthropologists really help business. In the past, you may have just asked people how they use emails or cell phones or whatever. But now, when you ask people how they use something, they'll give you an answer, which may not give a completely accurate picture. And that's where the direct observation can help.
So those are typical things that anthropologists really do in the corporate world. I think the business world is only going to get more complex, not less. And as a result, I think the companies will continue to need people who are trained to observe carefully.
Okay, so last thing is the question that some of you might be curious. Can we make a good living in anthropology? Can you earn a lot of money by this job? Okay, honestly, the answer is no.
Why?
It depends on your specialty and what kind of job you get, but it's pretty unlikely that you'll get rich. However, it's a fascinating field. That's why we recommend it.
So if you're interested with anthropologists, please log on our website to find out more information.
And for those who are working in the busy world, if we see someone with a notebook in the back of the office watching them carefully, we shouldn't worry. Thank you.
Thank you.